many abiotic factors that affect the Gobi Desert. The temperatures are the most severe. Animals that live in the Gobi Desert had to adapt to the extreme living temperature fluctuations.
The temperatures on a single day could go from negative 40 degrees Celsius to 53 degrees Celsius. This means all plants and animals must be ready for any kind of weather.
Another struggle for the plants and animals in the Gobi Desert is finding a fresh source of water. One source of water in the Gobi Desert is the sexual tree that filters water.
The Gobi Desert also contains over 33 types of soil, allowing plants to survive through droughts and very cold weather.
Phosphate is incorporated into organic molecules such as DNA. When the plant or animal dies, it decays and the organic phosphate is returned to the soil. Within the soil, organic forms of phosphate can be made available to plants. This process is known as mineralization. The phosphorus comes from bacteria breaking down organic material, creating inorganic forms of phosphorus. Phosphorus in soil can end up in waterways and eventually oceans. Once there, it can be incorporated into sediments over time.
Yeah! Oh.
There is less than 4 inches of precipitation in the Gobi Desert.
Per year.
Go.
However, there's a lot of water stored underground.
Real.
Plants have to lose their leaves until it rains, and animals like camels convert their fat in their humps into water.
There are many biotic factors affecting the greater Gobi Desert region, with one of the most important things being the producers. These hardy plants are the backbone of the ecosystem. Without them, there'd be a massive lack of biodiversity. An example of one of these biotic producers is the species of wild onion that is very frequently found in the region. These
hardy onions feed many of the primary consumers and even some of the second of third order omnivores like humans.
Nitrogen levels are low in desert ecosystems compared to other ecosystems. They also don't have many nitrogen-fixing plants. Nitrogen goes into soil and then gets into the plant protein. Animals eat the plant protein, and it's the animal protein. The animal dies, releases the nitrogen into the soil, and the nitrogen can be released into the air or back into the soil. That's what's up.
Carbon cycle is when the plants take in sunlight and create carbon dioxide through photosynthesis. Then, when they die, they release their carbon elements into the soil, sand, and the carbon is then used by other plants that absorb the carbon. Animals do the same thing when they die, and they release carbon dioxide when they breathe. Animals get their carbon from the food chain when they eat plants or eat an animal that has 8 plants.
The food chain is the main source of energy. The sun gives light to plants, then they convert it to energy through photosynthesis.
Energy, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Grass, yeah.
Then herbivores eat the plants
and other animals eat smaller herbivores. This creates the flow of energy. Only 10% of energy is transferred through each cycle.
Run it back, Turbo.
Autotrophs create organic substances from non-organic substances like the sun. Sexual Heterotrophs get organic substances from other organic plants or animals. Carnivores, animals that only eat meat, bears, foxes, any kind of animal that is meat.
Herbivores are animals that eat plants, and these would be sheep and camels. Omnivores are animals that eat plants and animals. Examples of these would be eagles and vipers. Scavengers eat the bodies of dead animals. These would be vultures.
Decomposers break down dead or decaying organisms. Examples, worms and millipedes. Detritivores are organisms that gain energy from decaying plants and animals and feces. None, due to the sand substrate and lack of precipitation. Biomass is any organic material that can be used for energy. The pyramid of the biomass shows the different sections of the predators and consumers in this particular ecosystem. There are 4 sections of the ecosystems in the pyramid. At the bottom, there are scattered plants. Then there are small herbivore ecosystem that eats the plants. Next are the small carnivores. At the top are the tertiary consumers, and they are at the very top.
Shout out cameraman. Plants and animals have to make extreme adaptations in order to survive in the Gobi Desert. The camel is able to store fat in their humps and then convert it into water. Other animals like the kangaroo have organs that filter moisture in the air into water. Plants have long roots to use the water stored deep underground.
A niche. A niche is something an organism does. How an organism reacts to biotic and abiotic factors. A role, some might say. Plants give carbon to the animals and it is an example of a niche.
Shout out real cameraman.
The concept of a habitat is basically the home of an animal. The surroundings and the needs of the animal are all in a habitat. The example is the snake's habitat is mostly just the bushes and grass in the desert with small animals that they prey on. Plants in the desert have developed a high tolerance to high sunlight and very warm weather. There's competition in the desert between the plants and animals for getting some of the little amount of water.
Shout out cameraman.
Yeah. Harmful conditions.
Global warming could cause worse droughts, drying up water holes, causing wildfires that could alter the land. If the water holes dry up, animals could become dehydrated and have to move. And if wildfires become a regular thing, they could destroy wildlife and plants. Irrigation is also a problem for the desert biome. It could lead to high salt levels that could kill the plant life. Potassium cyanide could also poison the plants.
Yo, shout out cameraman. The biome of the Gobi Desert is greatly affected by humans, by people off-roading, riding their vehicles through the desert, and also through hunting, which kills the animals along the way. A way we can stop all this from happening is to be cautious and not affect their biome.
Going. Keep going.
Keep going?
Do this 6'9".
Stupid.